The language of comics is absolutely full of potential. The subject matter that can be portrayed is without limit. No idea is too simple or too elaborate. The number of styles that can be utilized in the creation of comic art is similarly unlimited. Photorealistic art and even actual photographs are often used in comics, but an iconic cartoony style is also perfectly acceptable, and any level in between. Comics can be very verbose, laden with text that adds elements of mood and exposition to its accompanying image, or they can let the pictures more or less speak for themselves. Within comics, artistic styles can be mixed and combined. Many artists combine simplified characters with elaborate, almost photoreal backgrounds and settings. Style itself is just one element in the language of comics, carefully used to elicit responses in the reader's mind, such as fear, joy, compassion, and more. Composition and pacing also play vital roles in engaging the reader and maintaining the illusion of reality. Another element in this unique language is the portrayal of time. A comics artist has at his disposal the ability to play around with time in a way that few other media can compare to. A well-known example of this is a hero reciting a lengthy monologue while punching a villain out. Realistically, that is impossible, but comics have the ability to break through that barrier. Spatial relationships can also be taken advantage of to give an indication of time's passage. Here's an example from Comics and Sequential Art by Will Eisner. Time can also be manipulated in many ways, in combination with these spatial relationships. A cleverly arranged panel can portray several distinct moments at once, or can capture several simultaneous events in different places. This sort of juxtaposition is unique to comics. Imagine trying to hear and understanding several simultaneous conversations in a movie. Here's an example from Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. Panel composition also plays a large role in motion through time. The size and spacing of panels can emulate time delays and indicate pacing. It's all in the nature of the images used and the style employed. These examples are also from Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. Hey, it's a great book. There are many other ideas regarding the language of comics I'd like to briefly discuss. Since my focus is going to be on comic books, though, I'd like to make an important distinction before going further. Comic books are a subset of comics as a whole, regardless of what your definition is, especially if you adhere to the definition given here. I don't mean to disparage comic strips or to imply that they are a lesser art form than comic books. My intent is only to draw a line between them. They're closely related, but they are not the same creature. What is it that separates comic books from, say, the comics of the newspaper? Isn't a comic book just a collection of these sorts of strips? Well, yes and no.